ad with Australian cricketer Steve Smith in it. He's made a return to the public spotlight, appearing in this revealing new advertisement for telco giant Vodafone.
Interesting timing. In the campaign, Smith opens up about the ball tampering scandal and the emotional toll of his band, and he admits he was in a dark place.
I've certainly had some difficult days, but it's okay to be vulnerable. Everyone makes mistakes. It's about the way you respond to it that's really important. I want to come back better than I was.
All right, so that's the ad, part of the ad. There's some good messages there. There's some questionable elements to it. Our masters of spinner here, advertising experts Matthew Bywater and Jane Carra. Warning to you, but look, a lot of people divided over this. I think you guys are even divided over this. We should point out, Steve Smith did say it was meant to have been released after yesterday's news conference where he addressed mental health issues. Let's deal with the ad. Matthew, was he right to do the ad in the first place?
I like the ad. I think the timing, yeah, maybe, and Jay and I have been discussing whether he should take payment for or donate the payment. That's one thing. I like how Steve Smith and his team have handled this whole process. They did wrong. Admittedly, they got caught out. They didn't fess up. But when they did get caught, they just said, we were wrong. They're taking the harshest ban in world cricket ever. And they've said, we did wrong. I'm really, really sorry. I screwed up. And this is part of the process.
The only thing I'd say about that, yesterday in the news conference, although, yes, he did fess up, he did make it pretty clear, look, I wasn't the instigator. Now, we didn't really know that before, but yesterday he made it very clear, look, I condoned it by not saying don't do it, but it wasn't my idea. I didn't start it. I didn't give the sandpaper out. I didn't say, let's do this, guys.
Yeah. I feel sorry for Steve Smith. I think he's had a tough time, but I also think he needs to think about whose advice he's taking. Because actually, I don't think the ad itself, if it was for a mental health charity or it was for mental health in general, I think we would have thought he was a hero. Unfortunately, the ad's fine right up until it gets to the great big Vodafone. And then it just goes ba-ba. And, I mean, I don't know whether Steve Smith's been paid for this ad, whether he's donated the money he got for it or part of it.
He's saying that he's donating at least part of it.
Well, let's not forget the work with Gotcha for Life, Gus Warland's charity. He's doing a lot of work in this space with schools. What you saw in the ad, they're excerpts from his work with the schools, trying to teach kids, hey, you can't do wrong, but when you make mistakes, there is a right way out of this.
And that part of it's a great message. We get that.
But the problem is that it's seen as being done for a commercial enterprise, for profit. It's a cynical way of getting people to use Vodafone. That's the problem.
We want to get to our next topic, but just very quickly, what about for Vodafone? Is this a good branding for them?
No. I think it's actually bad for them for the same reason.
Right.
I think they get away with it. If they'll Telstra, no, because Vodafone's a challenger brand, quite low down in the totem pole in Australian telecommunications. I think they get away with it.
You're nicer than that.
Just one more thing, very, very briefly. I said at the top that he thought it was supposed to be released after yesterday's news conference. I'm not buying that.
No.
I mean, if you're Steve Smith and you've been involved in the biggest scandal in Australian sport and you've done an ad for Vodafone, you're going to know when the ad is coming out, aren't you?
Are you saying someone tampered with the release?
Maybe. Now,
I don't think it matters the timing.
Yeah, okay. TV chef Jamie Oliver has found himself in hot water after agreeing to an $8.8 million deal with oil giant Shell. Now, this is interesting, Matthew, because he has been a campaigner for environmental issues and has been, really held up as a hero for doing it. And now this collaboration with Shell to put his food in their service stations, it's a bit of an odd one.
Yeah, it's not a great look considering what he's campaigned on. And it's going to be really interesting because right now we're seeing a lot of press from a lot of the same types of people, a lot of activist groups, a lot of the activist type news media. What I'm interested in is his actual base, the people that buy his food, buy his books, his DVDs, watch his shows. Will that affect them? Because these are the same people who are driving the Shell today and filling up their tank of gas. You know?
So bad for his brand, maybe, Jane, but very good for his bank account.
Very good for his bank account.
And he needs it. We know that.
Well,
yeah, because he's had to sink a whole lot of money, $23 million or something, into his Jamie's Italian restaurant.
He's still got a slight $250 million left over.
I don't think he's really on his boom end yet. Look, I think it's really bad for his brand in the long run, unless he is working with Shell to get Shell to realise that Shell is not a petrol company and never has been. It's an energy company. And it can companies need to know what business they're in. Kodak died because it thought it was in the business of making film. No, it was memories. Fossil fuel companies can become energy companies, power companies. If he's helping them do that, it's a good thing. If he's not helping them do that, bad thing.
Good chat, guys. Two really good topics.
Thank you both
Merry
very
Christmas
much.
to you both.